Good afternoon, everyone. Good late morning to our friends on the West Coast. I am Todd Obert, President and CEO of Productive Corporation, joined alongside me virtually and technically our good man Chris Minton, Sales Engineer from Fortinet. Today we are going to talk about moving your security strings the way you want to. The way you do that is using Fortinet FortiGate. Pretty cool technology. We've been, loving Fortinet, added them in here over the past year onto our line card to really solidify our position in security to offer you guys additional choices, and it has been awesome. So today we are kicking off and talking about what they're doing in the UTM Next-Generation Firewall space, and I think you're going to dig it. So if you've been to our events in the past, you know we are all about content and we like to avoid the fluff. To that end, we will meet Productive in 1 minute or less. Then Chris and I will discuss, what is UTM versus Next-Gen Firewall and why even take a look at it. We'll have that couple minutes, then we'll get right in and take a look at the technology. You have the chat feature. Utilize it for questions, and we will answer them throughout the broadcast. As I said, this is a 30-minute event, so buckle up and get ready because we are going to drive this thing forward at full speed. So giddy up. So first off, who is Productive Corporation? Well, Productive is a security and storage software expert for mid-sized companies. We have dedicated accounting team that is tied to your area that will help you with licensing questions, deployments, configuration, everything you need. Very easy to get a hold of. You don't have to wait on hold or navigate the publisher yourself. We also have tons of resources on our website, including access to trials, technical white papers. All of this can be found at productivecorp.com. We also produce a lot of third-party content, including P-Guides, 2-Minute Tech, which are tips and tricks. We have specialized YouTube videos, all of this to give you an idea about what is relevant content in the mid-market. You can find all of this at productivecorp.com/content. The bottom line is we have the resources to help you. Help at productivecorp.com, 800-726-4099. We are here to help. And one of the ways that we help is by talking about interesting and relevant technology. Now, I assume most of you out there have, firewalls doing stuff at the gateway, anti-spam, etc. Some of you may even have a UTM, but today we really wanted to talk about Fortinet, what they're doing, what FortiGate means, and what about UTM and Next-Generation Firewall. So for those of you who haven't heard or aren't in the know, Fortinet is one of the leading security providers in the world. In fact, they're in the medal round, right? So that'll tell you where they're at with the goal of becoming, at the top of the podium, wearing that gold medal around their neck for being the leading security provider in the world. Well within reach. And how are they doing it? Because they're building great technology. Things like the UTM that they are one of the market leaders in. Other technology that they build to, and build themselves and integrate so that they can do it in a much more effective and efficient and cohesive way. So that's what I want you to keep in mind as we talk about today. So, Chris, let's get into this. Chris, tell me, right, a lot of people say, hey, I got a UTM or I got a next-generation firewall. I mean, what is it in your mind, and are they different?
Absolutely. Great question. Thank you. Appreciate the time. Yes, UTM and NGFW, acronyms on how we in the space love to have our acronyms. We've got Universal Threat Management and then Next Generation Firewall. So what's really interesting about the two is that UTM, it was what Fortinet had described their new security features and subsequently had published with a vendor that writes documentation about new products, and they came up with the term UTM. And then later, another publisher and business of the same nature came out with the term next-generation firewall. And so then the conversation became, well, what's the difference between a UTM, NGFW, or just a regular stateful firewall? And it's been some funny going back and forth. But the gist of it is universal threat management is your basic firewalling with intrusion prevention, with antivirus on the gateway, and application intelligence controls all together, working together to protect and identify the new threats that are out there, the new use of traffic, and then be able to see all of these type of traffic and definitions and allow you as an administrator or as a user of the product to be able to see every type of traffic coming in and out and making sure that it's secure, and then also being able to make policies based on different types of securities and different kinds of applications.
Okay. So so that makes sense. So tell me this. I mean, right, I get it. So I get the kind of really, to paraphrase it, right, somebody came up with, another vendor came up with next-generation firewall, but essentially they're similar in nature, correct? Is that a fair way to restate it, or I missed something?
No, that's definitely a fair way. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So all right. So get it. So we'll call it UTM. So tell me this, right? Why does somebody even want to look at a UTM? I mean, I got these point solutions, right? I'll be devil's advocate. I'm a customer, right? I have my web filtering. I got my anti-spam. I got my VPN. I got a couple other things, and they're working great. Why do I want to think about looking at a UTM?
Absolutely. It's a good point and a great conversation, and I have these conversations all the time. If you'll notice on the left with the traditional solution, which being an engineer and administrator for years, I've had these type of designs and see these designs every day. You've got different point solutions and different products to do a different feature set. What you need, you'll notice on the left, there's a LAN acceleration product. That's a device that's got a power cord, that's got data cables coming into it. Might be the same product. It might be a different vendor than you're used to. Then there's the code update, the code changes, and then the configuration and the skill sets, just all for a LAN acceleration device. And you can take those things and extrapolate to each one of these devices. The same for web filtering. You might have a certain appliance. You might have yet another vendor. You might have, again, power that needs to be connected to this. You've got updates. You've got patches, and so on and so forth for all of these types of services that are all discombobulated and not together holistically being run by one device. And you'll notice that even though these are set up like this, all of your traffic going in and out of that corporation or that building out to the cloud or the internet, all of that traffic has to be designed to be routed to every one of those devices for inspection and decision making, both inbound and outbound. And as you could imagine, that would take quite a bit of resource and quite a bit of latency as traffic is moving through those inspection points, going back and forth, causing latency, causing delays as well. Let's also talk about the costs. So every one of these devices is obviously a product that's sitting in your data center, taking up rack space, having to be pulled by the data centers, which, as we know, data center electricity is one of the most expensive things that we're purchasing on. And the other, the biggest purchase besides headcount is actually license and renewal fees. So for every one of these devices, there's also there's licensing, there's renewals, there's purchases, there's upgrade plans. They can all be separate on different times. So you might have to be paying your web filtering at the 3-month interval for a year support, application control, maybe 6 months, and you have to have really control of when these devices are up for renewal for the security services. Some companies, some vendors will actually turn off these services if maybe a payment was slipped or what have you. So all of those together really make the solution, just like the point is, cumbersome and costly. And
so, right, and you'll show us. I'd like to show, right. So, right, you get the appliance, whether physical or virtual, right. But then you can add additional capacity or these capabilities as you want, right? I mean, or
absolutely.
is it? Yeah. So then you don't have to reconfigure it, just continue to go through that pipe, right? And I think sometimes people discount, latency as a cost, right? Because they don't always see it. But I mean, right, when you talk about employee effectiveness and productivity, that's an issue, right? I mean, and if I have to wait another 30 seconds for something, well, that's one thing. But if I have to do that all day long, what does that add up? Times 100, times 200, times 500 employees, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So yeah, so that's cool. So I want to see this this bad boy. Are you ready to show this to us?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I am going to hand over total control of the world. So you have that. So use it wisely. Don't push the button. Just kidding. But all right, here we are. We're looking at the FortiGate 140D PoE. What does that mean to me?
That's right. So that's just one of our mid-sized devices, the 140D series. The PoE is the acronym for Power over Ethernet. So this device is a firewall. It's also providing PoE type on a switch port. The D indicates our newest line of processors, and then a 140 is the model.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
With the FortiGates, the great thing and the differentiation between Fortinet is we make our own silicone. We make our own ASINCs, which is a nice acronym for application-specific integrated circuits. We write our own code, both for our GUI, our CLI, and also for all of our definitions. So everything that we have is us. It's not third-party or OEM. We have to wait for somebody else or lean on somebody else. So it's all our code. And the D is what that signifies. This is our latest generation of our async processors. So we believe that for someone to do business with a company that a mission-critical device, right, a security device, you're going to want somebody who's going to invest up to $50 million a cycle just to make sure that our processors are working with our code. And that's what we do. That's one of the things that makes us really unique in the business is a lot of other people just doing merchant silicone, which is basically somebody else's hardware, or also just third-partying it. So what you're seeing with this is a heads-up display from a graphical user interface. And right now we're looking at all sessions coming in and out of this. This FortiGate is actually out there on the internet, and you can access it on your own. If you'd like to remember FortiGate.com, you can just type in demo, and away you are. So we like to show our customers what it looks like right off the bat. And what you're seeing here is a heads-up display. We've got a source with a user on the actual device, where he's going, and what type of applications that he's accessing. And we have our security event. So we looked at next-generation firewall and next-generation policy, and what does that mean is that you put all of these type of security profiles all together, and you make them work as one holistic device. So on this device right here, we have antivirus on the gateway, both going in and out. We have the ability to do web filtering. We have application control. This is the ability to see the difference between a Facebook post and a Facebook chat. Let's stop right there for a second. I want to talk about application control. We can have the ability to have one department be able to post on Facebook all day long, and the other one can sit there and just be able just to read. And the way that we're able to do this is by our FortiGuard Center. So all next-generation firewalls need to have some type of home base or home service that sends vulnerabilities and updates live as they come, because things change on the network. So you'll notice with our FortiGuard, all of our firewalls and our security services are constantly getting updates for the latest botnets, the latest viruses. Web filtering, yeah, you would be surprised how many types.
So you can just not only by group but by individual user, right? You can make it that granular.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and you can base it by the time of the day. A great example is one of my great stories about a customer, March Madness. How hard is it to block March Madness? Well, now that you know that the signature, because March Madness is a selling type of service, any way that you get March Madness, there's an application signature there that says I'm March Madness. Well, we can identify that, and so we have one of our customers that says it has a time-sensitive, what's called an ACL, an application control list. On March 1st, it turns on, and on March 31st, it obviously turns off, and it says all March Madness is turned off except for one person, and that is the CFO. The CFO actually got full access with being able to get as much bandwidth as he wanted for to be able to watch March Madness. And so they just turned it on, and it was a one-time little radio button, and it was and there you were. So there's all sorts of great things that you can do with these type of appliances, because now you have the visibility to see what's coming in and what's coming out of your network. So real quick,
it's funny how the CFO was able to get that done.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean,
I guess, quick clarification. You had the FortiGate.com. Can you tell them the user password again for the to get to the demo?
Absolutely. It's demo for the username and demo for the password.
Okay. Yep. So all right. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
And this is what a regular firewall policy looks like. All you'll really want to, what I want to identify is for the security services where we mentioned earlier, whether you can, if you want to turn them all on or off, we sell it as one subscription service. So if you buy the subscription service, you get all of these. You don't have to buy different things to turn them on, and that's what you expect from a company like us. And then you have the ability to say for each policy, you can use a certain antivirus definition, a certain web filter, certain application control, intrusion prevention, I mean, you name it, data loss prevention. You have the granularity to make the policies that people are really asking for now, especially with services like Salesforce.com that might be outside into the cloud. You need to use Salesforce and use Facebook. Very hard for a regular traditional firewall that's about 40-year-old technology actually, to identify the differences between them. And you can do, it doesn't have to be Boolean, meaning either everybody can't get it or everybody can. You can say, well, Chris Minton's pretty awesome, so he can Facebook anytime they want, but you know what, probably not, better do that. Chris Minton really isn't that awesome on Tuesdays when he needs to be somewhere, so he can only see Facebook, but he only gets 1 kilobit a day. You can do these types of policies with these types of firewalls. And I just want to show you just how simple it is to make a policy. So right here, we're creating one. And again, it's all about the engine that comes up. This device right here is getting all of its signatures. It's got a local database, and it goes and queries our FortiGuard service that's up 24/7, 365 with the latest updates and versions. So right here, from our source to our destination, you can base it on one individual, many individuals, a certain network group, a certain AD group, and you can have a different policy for each firewall as we go. And again, like we talked about with the schedule.
Hey, a quick question coming in here for you, Chris. Can we deny emails that contain, I guess, SIN numbers? Is that either on text or as attachment? Oh, social insurance numbers. Okay, I was thinking social security numbers, but all right.
Absolutely. So we have the ability with each one of our firewalls comes with an email service on it, but for the larger deployments, we have our own email security product devices that will search on social security numbers and any type of regex expression, and also follow PCI compliance, depending on what PCI compliance or HIPAA compliance or even state appliance templates that will identify a social security number being sent. Will stop it, will alert whoever needs to be alerted, and keep that information safe for you and your customers. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
Absolutely, and that's part of the policy. If you saw in the firewall, we're looking at the policy. There was actually a DLP, and that's the data loss prevention signature. So you can program as things go in transit to say, I'm looking for a certain number, I'm looking for certain types of interactions. If I see this traversing the firewall, then do this action. I want to show you a simple report as well. So we have, you're going to be able to have a heads-up display of all types of information coming in and out of your network, and it's not going to be in the gobbledygook where there's just a bunch of machine code. We have the ability, and what you really expect from a network appliance is have the ability to launch a PDF that says Chris Minton was here, he went to this website for this long, he went to this URL, he typed its IPs inside the search engine. Things of this nature don't really look very pleasing to the eye for reports, and that's why we do this for you. So we have reporting based on local and also up into the service as well, that you can pull these reports and see pure PDF examples of what people are doing, and you can have it automated. And it's one of the many features that you would expect from next generation or UTM type of appliances coming out into the field today. I'm at the 120 mark. Let me see.
Oh, you have, yeah. No, I said you have we have till 1:30, so we can.
Oh, great.
We can keep driving. Yeah, totally. Keep rolling. I was saying 20 to 25 minutes of just pure demo.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so I can get talking on this, and I will not stop. We'll go for hours.
Yeah.
So what when you have the ability, you see the date and time, you see who your people are coming to, what devices they're actually coming from. This is around identity management. So I can have a personal laptop that you might have a certain policy for, and I might have a work laptop that you have yet another policy for. Well, I'm in the environment. It'll pick up on what type of devices it is, and then it will say, Chris is on his personal laptop. We're not going to give him access to the confidential goodies, but we are going to let him, use the wireless and maybe some email features. And then also we have what's called geo-based filtering, where you can see the location of all the servers that people are connecting to. So you'll notice the flags, and if you have no business or you don't want to have any business with a certain country, it's real simple just to go to the geo filter and just say no connectivity to, let's say we're upset with the Swedes for some reason. We can say no business with any server from Sweden. And I can tell you that when we do a lot of audits and we'll plug in a device and we'll watch traffic for a while that hasn't been updated with the latest security, or they're looking for an upgrade into the next generation firewall, I can tell you countless stories of us seeing, certain times at night, one or two machines having a connection to a country that had no business having that connection to, and then both that country going into that computer, and then we found malware. We found stolen information that's been there for quite some time. It's one of the ways to identify and also to block, just based on country.
So, Chris, can you how proactive is this? Saying, when I go in and look and say like, hey, boy, I've just been getting hammered by the Swedes. I need to adjust, or how do I see that from kind of a reporting standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. You can make custom reports to show all the geo-filtering. I mean, right here we're looking for is a live view of all sessions, and so we're seeing a destination. So you can break this down and run a report for all countries or all devices in Sweden, and then you can write a policy on the firewall to say, no traffic both in and out to Sweden, and then also send me a note, send me an email or a text saying, hey, we're seeing some attempts from one machine in a certain department. Head over to this right here, and it's being blocked.
Yeah, so that's good. I actually got a question in the meantime that's kind of parallel to that. This user is, they have a content filter, right, to set up alerts from blocked websites in an email, but the problem is it's a lot of reading to sort through. Is there a way to filter the filter, I guess I'm going to say, to include only certain categories like guns or pornography or sports or whatever that?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so we have canned reports that come with the FortiGate and on the web filter from our reporting. And if you just want to see, let's say, only reporting just for one of these type of categories, it'll generate a report.
So not for blocked websites, but just for blocked websites for a certain category.
Any way you want to do it. Even if you want to put just a group of websites that you're interested in, you can modify the filter and then write a report, and it'll automatically send it to you on when those were hit. Okay.
Well, that's fantastic. Hopefully that answers your question. So, okay. Keep rolling.
Okay. So, again, you're seeing quite a bit of possibilities with a next-generation firewall. We even go into, end-user device management and authentications and tokens. So we have the ability for people via SSL VPN or regular VPN or even just on the network to come in and have certain types of capabilities. So you'll see here that the user definitions, you can make multiple ones and you can use multiple groups. With this, you can have multiple groups to say, you know, this groups of people based on their AD or what have you, they have access to a certain amount of information. So anytime they log in, it doesn't matter what machine it is, if they log in with their credentials, they're going to get a certain type of access depending on how you guys design it.
Okay, that is pretty cool. So, hey, we have a couple minutes left here, Chris. You've demonstrated this technology. You did a great job today, by the way. But when you're doing a demo for somebody, is there something that usually when you show them, here's a feature, or here's something in the FortiGate product that they're like, wow, this is pretty cool? Is there anything like that that you haven't shown us?
Oh, it's right here with the policy on how granular you can make something. So just the ability to create a custom policy is most detailed as you can. This is really the wow factor for a lot of people. A lot of people will call and say, I just need to be able just to have a report to show who's going to Facebook at certain times, and I needed some reporting features on that. And I need to be able to say, a perfect example is that I've got a group of people that I want to have full access to anything out there on the internet, and then also I want to have different policy for some other people, and I don't want them to go to a lot of places out to the web. Maybe they're new to the firm or what have you, and the fact that they can apply multiple web content filters to these groups, and that is basically done. That design is done in just a few minutes. That's really the big wow factor.
Okay, cool. Well, which is very, very cool, right? And I think, you know, to me, that's cool. I think the other thing that's cool is that you guys build these soup to nuts, right? From the hardware to the chips to the software, which doing that gives you a unbelievable, unparalleled ability to integrate and to create efficiencies where others just can't, right? When you're using off-the-shelf stuff, there's only so much you can do, right?
Absolutely. And we're a company of just 4,000. We're about 87% engineers. So a lot of features that customers ask for, we put them in our feature set. Because
That's cool.
We have the ability. Yeah, we have the ability. This is all of our code.
Yeah. All right. Now, what am I seeing here? This is just some of the reports?
Yes, absolutely. So this is just a report, and they are all customizable. This is actually just on the firewall. We have several solutions. We have one that's a cloud service, and we also have one where you can buy a certain appliance, and it does even more granular reporting. But this is what you get. So we've got top users by bandwidth. That's pretty stock. But again, you know, you mentioned about the destinations, our web usage, what sites are being hit. Top users by block request. So if there's somebody doing a lot of trying to log into sites that you're not going to allow, it'll be all reported right here. We can even have it to where it says it gives you a bunch of URLs. So when I go to Google and I search for strings, I type in, you know, go into CNET or type into, you know, the latest news. It'll actually, when you run a report on me, it'll say what I'm actually typing in the search bar.
Oh, okay. Cool. Hey, Chris, is there a place at FortiGate that offers feature training, like a how-to?
Oh, absolutely. We're a big component of YouTube, and a lot of our walkthroughs and overviews are on YouTube. On our website, if you go to Fortinet and just go to training, a lot of our materials are out there as well. Really good training information, and we also offer, you know, classes to our partners as well for, you know, for next steps and deep dives.
Okay, cool stuff. And then this sounds like this one customer, maybe you know this offhand, otherwise we'll have to take this offline, but specifically they have a 100D unit and says there's no local report option, only FortiCloud. Is that, do you know offhand, is that not a feature in that, or is there a way to turn it on? Or should I just
for the
put the training portal?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100D. There is a certain size hard drive on there for reporting. It should have local, but you also have a free 1 gig subscription to FortiCloud where it just pushes those up to FortiCloud, and then there's also the ability to have another product of ours where you can send it to do more granular reports. I'd like to look into that with them as well, but the 90D that we have that just came out doesn't have local. Excuse me, the 70D doesn't have local storage, but the 100D, to my understanding, actually has a little bit of local storage. It's not much, and we do believe that our firewalls are really meant to crunch the data and not really serve as a repository. So it only is about, it's a very small amount of space for those recordings, because we want the firewalls to run and do as much networking and crunching as possibly, but then you have the ability to get the reports from some other type of device.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll get it facilitated. I have this user's info, and I will get them in touch with you from our team over here, and then you guys can take that one offline and figure that out. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Perfect. All right, with that, I will be taking control back here. And as we finish up, once again, Chris, fantastic job. Very cool stuff. I mean, you're really, showing us the Maserati and what's not to love about the Maserati.
My pleasure.
Hopefully you guys like Maseratis, but anyway, I do. So thank you so much for your time. Everybody else out there, hey, we know you have a ton going on in your environment, so you spend 30 minutes with us here at Productive. We truly appreciate it. Your account exec will be following up. Chris went through a lot of stuff today. If you need to see a custom demo, you need to understand more about how a UTM would fit in your environment. That is why we are here. So, Chris Minton from Fortinet, thank you very, very much. I am Todd Obert from Productive, wishing you a fantastic balance of your day and week. We will talk soon. Thank you.